After long days full of engagements, his three loves come together: family, technology, and leadership training. For this tech lover, a keyboard replaces a television remote.
So this is a night that because I'm going to talk to you about what transformational leadership looks like, and we need to know what it looks like. And so I'll challenge you, and we'll laugh together, we'll cry together, but I'll go back to these notes because I want you to be able to walk out of here really understanding the need for transformational leadership in our world. That this organization, the one that many of you have poured your life into, your time, your effort, your energy, your dollars, this organization has an opportunity to help answer the leadership crisis of the world. We have an opportunity. Not many people get to give themselves to something and live for something and become a part of something that they could say, I can't even imagine that we're a part of this, but in God and His sovereignty, He has...
My dad was one of the first set of people to make inverters in Nigeria back in the early 1990s. Yeah, so those made me see that nothing was impossible. And my mom was a businesswoman. She was doing business on a large scale. She was doing foodstuff business. Was selling foodstuff and the like. So I think that also brought up the entrepreneur in me. Then while growing up, at some point, I had to be the one to stay at home with my younger ones, to take care of them, you know. So I remember that I started learning how to cook when I was really young. I had to cook for my younger ones, take care of them when we get back from school. And those things really, I think, are some of the things that have shaped the leader in me. There was a time that my parents were having some issues, and those issues it was sort of a hard time for us in our home, but the most important thing was the way it helped to change the way I think. So I got to a point where while I was in school, even though my mom was trying her best and to put us through school, there were still some little things that I did not want to bother her about. So I had to start looking for ways to generate income for myself. And I did not want to go the illegitimate way. So I had to look for ways to generate income as a student without stealing, without duping someone, while still making enough income for myself. So I think those experiences, it was challenging at the time, you know, when it was like what they call single parenting now at the time for my mom. And my dad also had some financial issues at that time, so it was very, very challenging. But thank God I scaled through, and I think that has been able to help me adapt. Anytime I find myself in some sort of negative situation, I know that inside that negative situation, there's always something positive about it. And if you can look at this positive part of the situation, it will always turn into profit for you.
Ololade's leadership journey has been shaped by a mentor who emphasized the role of virtue in achievement.
One of the persons who has really impacted me a lot is Mr. Otayemi. I have been working with him for some years now, and over the years I've learned one thing from him, that he is a man, whether inside the house or outside the house, is the same person. Now, that is very rare, especially in this country, in the sense that most people would beat someone else at home and someone else outside. But he is a man of integrity. And one of the things he has taught us, as many of us that have been privileged to be under his mentorship, is the value of integrity. Integrity is meaning what you say, saying only what you mean, doing what you say you do, and sticking to your word, keeping your word. That is integrity. Now, the issue we have, however, in Nigeria, in our country, is that most people get to a point where they do not understand that there's a difference between what everybody does and what you do as an individual. So people would say, since Mr. A is doing it, why can't I do the same thing? But integrity is doing the right thing at all times, regardless of who is doing the wrong thing. Okay. So I often ask a question: who trains our leaders? Nobody trains our leaders. Even those the graduates we have who come out of school, what are they taught? They are taught to be good students. At the end of the day, get good jobs, and then live happily ever after. But that's not enough. We are not taught the right values. We're not taught the right way to think. We're not taught the right way how to hold ourselves accountable. And these are the critical things that are plaguing our community, especially in Nigeria. So Nigeria, for example, you have a graduate who comes out of school with a first class, right? The first class graduate comes out, it does not have the right values. So he will get to work, they say get to work by 9 o'clock, he gets to work by 9:05, then he writes in the attendance that he got to work 8:30. So he has the educational certification, but he does not have the moral certification. And this is where corruption starts from. It doesn't start from the top, it starts from below. In the sense that when leaders get to that point, it is not when they get there they become corrupt. They've always been corrupt from when they were just followers.
To achieve a goal is one thing. To achieve it with integrity, conscience, and virtue intact is entirely another. On a continent yearning for visionary, altruistic governance, the move of this young leader to impart his knowledge and provide his talents in difficult operating conditions for the uplift of other young Africans is an example all of us can be inspired by. My name is Ajuri Ngelale. Until next time, lead where you are, and followers will find you.